Okay, it is the 30th of April, 2021. I'm Scott Allen Miller. This is Sheep Guarding Llama. Welcome to the show. Today is Friday, and a lot of big things happening today. Today is our last day not completely running the hotel. So as of midnight tonight, the hotel, from a business perspective, becomes ours. So there's a lot of moving pieces with how everything works with the hotel, and the real estate takes like a minimum of 60 days. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of things happen, a lot of approvals, a lot of bureaucracy. But the business portion, the actual hotel, does not take so much. So that part transitions tonight. So Paul and Yvonne are very busy today. They're doing all the inventory and things like that, so they know what we're handing over. So like they have to count up all the dishes and glasses and bottles of rum, because it's Nicaragua, right? So rum everywhere, and the cases of beer and all that kind of stuff. They have to have an inventory of it, how many towels and all that sort of thing. So Paul's constantly sending us reports. Well, we're buying towels. Well, we're buying, right? Like we need a lot more linens. There's an awful lot of no purchases have been made for a while, so we're gonna have to really stock the place. But on the upside, it gives us a chance to do the stocking, right? It's probably better than if it had all been done previously and we were stuck with whatever we had. Trade-offs, right? So that's going on with the hotel today. I was very busy with work all day. I mean, very, very busy. Never had a chance to try to do anything outside of that. Alan is traveling today. He's going to Costa Rica, which right when he got to the airport around the middle of the day is right at the time that Costa Rica announced that they're going into lockdown. So he may be facing a week in a country where he can't even go out, because I mean they're closing restaurants and everything. Hotels don't close because you have to stay in them, right? So that would be absurd, but they're closing everything else. So no restaurants, no travel, no tourism stuff. So yeah, he's gonna get to see the inside of a Holiday Inn, and he's staying at the Holiday Inn. So it's a lot like staying in the United States, right? It's not even a Costa Rican hotel. So yeah, that's something interesting happening, and is going to make next week pretty busy for me, because we have more people to cover for on top of everything else. Plus, we don't know now if he's able to come back. So that's a bit scary, right? The really big news for us with the hotel, other than taking it over tonight, obviously that's huge. Today, we officially booked our flight. So in the last couple days, we've been playing around with a lot of ideas. We were really thinking, even up until the end of day yesterday, we were seriously considering maybe we should drive and running through those numbers. As of today, we said, you know what? We ran through the driving stuff and the cost and the risks and the buying a vehicle, the selling a vehicle, all that stuff. And the final numbers just kept coming up that we can't make it work. We can't make driving safe enough, not safe like from a financial perspective. We can't make it not take so long and not cost so much money to make it make sense, right? There's so many risks that we'll be like stuck at a border for an extra day, and I have to be able to work, and we have to get the dogs there, and the dogs aren't going to handle the drive very well, Mia especially. And there's so much, like we got to fly, like Dominica and I would have to fly down with the girls to Costa Rica and with Clive, and then drive to Nicaragua, deal with the borders and deal with the COVID tests, deal with all this stuff, and just all this kind of stuff. It all added up to so much time and so much money and so many things to go wrong that we decided we couldn't do it. That was before we found out that Costa Rica is going into lockdown and isn't even an option. So thank goodness we didn't like make a big investment going down that path, because now we couldn't do it, right? I mean, in theory we could, but we'd be going through Tegucigalpa, which would be crazy high stress and so much harder and more expensive that, yeah. So private flight it is. We booked it today. We are leaving on May 17th out of Miami, and we are on, this is kind of cool, we're taking a luxury private jet. We were originally thinking we were taking like a Beach Air, like dual prop, hardcore, like cargo style plane. Nope, this is an all leather, like Learjet kind of thing. Like it's it's a little bit crazy. Paul is really jealous that he doesn't get to do it. It's neat to describe, right? To say this is what we're doing, this is what we're taking is cool for sure. The reality of it all is that neither Dominica nor I really want to do it. I mean, we want to get the dogs there, and we're really happy that we're able to do that and to just get everything over in one shot. Like, we appreciate why it makes sense, but neither of us find the idea of flying on a private jet to be in any way interesting or exciting, because they're tiny, right? Like, it's not like you get all this luxury and all this space to sprawl, and it's nothing like that. It's itty bitty space. We're gonna be like for the whole time. Now, the really cool part though is because it's a direct flight and because it's a jet, a very high-speed luxury jet that does like Mach 0.85, I think. Our official flight time is 2 hours 17 minutes. That's flying over Cuba, past Mexico, over Honduras, over half of Nicaragua to land in Managua. Like, we're covering a lot of ground, right? And flying over the Caymans, of course. To go all the way across the Gulf of Mexico, over the Caribbean, and across bits of Central America in 2 hours and 17 minutes from the United States is just crazy. So fast. So that part, we're really excited about how little time we're going to have in the air. And our pilot seems really cool, and he's really into flying animals around, and like, that's all really cool. And hopefully with that really short flight and us being able to hold them, I mean, Clive's probably gonna be just fine. Like, he's gonna be like, whatever, but Mia is going to be freaking out. And hopefully that we're able to, you know, play with her and talk to her and hold her the whole time, because she doesn't have to be in a cage or anything, because it's just us on the plane. So she can just sit on the seat with us, and I can just hold on to her. So hopefully she's okay, because it's not very long, and she's not like separate. So now begins all the prep for the dogs to get ready, because now it's booked. Like, we booked the flight, paid for the flight, it's happening. So that's all completely arranged. And we're getting in early in the morning, so we don't even need to stay in Managua, or don't get to stay in Managua. I was kind of looking forward to getting to stay at Los Robles again, but we're not staying there. We're going straight out to Las Piñitas as soon as we arrive, because we'll get out there in the middle of the afternoon, which is pretty cool. Like, we do want to be at the hotel, obviously, right away. So we're going to be there for the 17th. We'll get to see a lot of it running on the 17th, and get all set up and be online and let everybody know what's going on. That's really big. This morning, more or less first thing, because last night we had put out furniture, the garbage collection came, and the dogs thought it was pretty crazy, especially Clive, who just stood on top of a suitcase at the front window with his paws up, staring out the window as the garbage trucks came and ate our furniture, because they have the big crane and they load it in. The thing like crushes it all. It's like a big gaping maw, just eating all the couches. So the white couches are gone. The white couches that Dominica and I went out and bought in probably late 2013, maybe early 2014, when we had gone back to Peekskill when I was working up there, and we took the girls to go shopping at it's like Bob's Discount. I can't quite remember the name of the place. And it was the first time we ever took the girls furniture shopping, and they liked the white couch, and they picked out the black one with recliners and wanted to get that. And so we've had this furniture for about 7 years, 7.5 years. It was really good furniture. We're very happy with it. I did notice last night somebody took the ottoman, and it was the only part of the couch that was in good shape. So somebody got a really nice white ottoman out of the whole thing. But the actual couches, at some point, some of the frame got broken, and obviously the dogs just destroyed them because Clive was just digging at it like crazy, and Mia was so nervous on it. And Clive pulled all the stuffing out of the inside, so they were toast. So I don't feel too badly about having to get rid of them. But it still sucks that we had to just throw it away. But so that went away, and then at just after noon, Madeline and her friend Britton showed up with Madeline's truck. She has a full-size truck, and we loaded up the black couch, the black recliner couch. That one I would be very sad to get rid of because, one, it's in good shape still, and two, it's the one that Liesl and Luciana picked out and asked us to get them 7 years ago, that we put in the basement at Peekskill and then stored at Dad's, and then eventually moved back to Texas, to Dallas. And so it's been, you know, it's only so much of a memory, but it's there's a little bit more tie to it. Plus it's just in really good shape. So they took it, they need it for their apartment, so that's good. And they took our really nice side table that Dominica and I have had forever. And I think we just got it at Target. It was all distressed and looked really nice. It was very classy. It's been my favorite piece of furniture for forever. They were able to take that and a few random things, and they ended up taking our IKEA love seat, the one that Dominica and I have had in our bedroom. No nostalgic ties there. It was a purely utilitarian purchase when we had returned from Ukraine, and our house had no furniture in it. We had not brought anything from New York yet, and we desperately needed somewhere to sit. So we went to IKEA and found a low-cost love seat and bought it for our bedroom so that we could sit, because the living room was bare. And it's a perfectly nice love seat in perfect condition. So they took that, and apparently they were able to get it to their apartment in College Station, and all is well. So that was a big piece of the day, just getting all that stuff out. And with that, our house is empty. There's like no furniture left whatsoever. I've got one chair that on Sunday is going to go to Jeremy's, but other than that, there's nothing left that isn't being thrown out. There's like, you know, a couple lamps. There's the mattresses on the floor, and they're old, so I don't think anybody's going to want them. We're just going to throw them out. Stuff like that. That's the situation we're in. We're down to the end. And last night and today, every time Dominica had a piece of luggage done, I just took it and moved it to Luciana's bedroom, the back one, and staged it against the back wall, because that room is empty. The only thing in there, oh yes, and the girls' desk, Emily wanted the desk, so Madeline picked that up today as well. That was part of their bedroom set. They had dresser, side table, bed, and that desk. Those were the pieces that they had, and everything but the bed is being taken. Liesl wanted to keep most of that stuff. I don't know if she'll still want it after any amount of time, because it is pretty new, so there's nothing nostalgic about it, but it is the stuff that she and Luciana went and picked out. So we'll see. But we're trying to keep it. It's all really nice. We like it. It's in good condition, so we don't want it to go anywhere. So we're glad that it's getting used. We'll have to figure out what to do with it when the girls are done with it, but that'll be a while yet. So cross that bridge when we come to it, right? Yeah, so we've been moving all the luggage to that back bedroom, and the girls have switched to using Liesl's bedroom now that they have it back. So we moved their mattress into that room, and there's nothing there except that mattress, and then like all their like tablets and computers and charging stations are in there on the floor, and that's all they have, right? And our bedroom is the exact same thing, with our mattress on the floor and no furniture and nothing like that. Oh, and Madeline also took our 2 IKEA end tables. Those are like $15 or something. Nothing special at all, but I really like them. But so they took those 2. So we did a good job of, you know, getting everything reused and gone somewhere. And you know, with the neighbors taking most of the furniture outside, things have worked out pretty well. I don't mind giving things away. I hate throwing things away, right? Like that's, wow, man, traffic is really moving all of a sudden. What is going on? So that was a large portion of the day doing all that. Once Madeline left, then more or less right away, Dominica and I set about loading this van, with our stuff, because she's been packing like crazy, and almost everything's in bins, and we have so much ready to go that we should be able to load the van in no time, because we have a lot of big bins. So we probably took about an hour, loaded the van, got it completely packed. I mean, it was pressed against the roof. We got the big TV in, we got some of our big picture frames in, we got, I just want to point out, I'm getting passed consistently. I'm doing 95. Okay, like, this is a Saturday afternoon, and in no way am I keeping up with traffic at 95. This is, I don't know why it's moving so fast on a dreary afternoon. So we got the van all loaded, very heavy. You can see it sitting very low when I'm looking out at it, and like, this is a big load because it's all bins. There's nothing bulky anywhere. So it's all loaded with bins, plus I have like everything that Dominica could scrounge out of the kitchen to send to her sister, like all of our pantry items that were still remaining. We took all the remaining beer in the house and loaded it in for me to take to Benny. I grabbed like the remaining rum in the house to take to Jeremy. I grabbed Liesel's scooter is going to the Grace's garage, all that kind of stuff. And then we loaded everything up, but I had to keep working. And by the time it was clear for me to potentially drive down, it was too late for me to make it to the storage unit before we could do anything. So at that point, we had to make the judgment call that I just have to do this tomorrow on Saturday, which really sucks because everything just keeps getting pushed off. It's like, we need to get moving, we need to get to New York. We're at a point where we really wish we were driving already, but we can't because we just can't get the storage stuff done. It's weighing on us and stressing us out a lot. So we were sitting outside, so it was the first time that we had any break of the day. This is probably, I want to say 5 or 6, it was probably 6 o'clock, 6:30. I was finally to a point where I was able to step away from the office for a few minutes. Dominica and I sat outside because it was nice. We're having coffee, and we're talking about, you know, how we're gonna do it, how we're gonna squeeze it in. And I said, if only I had a place to stay, you know, it'd be so nice to, because I had the energy tonight, and I'm like, I could drive down, but they're not open. But if I could stay, then I could unload it in the morning and come back and get more done. And she's like, should I look for you for a hotel? Maybe we should do that. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we should. So she started looking for hotels. And then I'm like, you know what? What am I thinking? So I called Jeremy, and he's like, oh yeah, just come down and sleep on the floor. So we're like, I guess we're doing this. So we made sure every possible thing was packed in the car. I ordered our final pizza dinner for the house. So I ordered Domino's for everybody and had that delivered because we don't want to take the car anywhere to pick anything up. And Dominica ran out, and we had one like return to go to Amazon, just something we had misordered. So she took care of that. So there's nothing like that we have to deal with yet in the house. And waited for dinner. So I went and worked until dinner arrived. I took like a quick shower and got all ready. We ate our pizza dinner, and then that was it. I just headed for the car, and I didn't even break down my computer at home. I have Yvonne's new laptop with me, so I just grabbed that instead because I know I can work from it. Actually, it's nicer than mine. I'm a little bit sad about that. And ran down to Spring. So I just hopped in the car. Unfortunately, it was already raining when I went to get in the car, and it was dark. There's nothing I can do because obviously I'm recording this the next day, right? But so on Friday night tonight, it was dark and rainy, and it just is what it is. I got on the road and drove down to Jeremy's. Listened to Pacific by Simon Winchester on the drive. Got a few hours of that in. Listened to some music. Talked to a few people on the phone, and generally, but it was a good drive. The car really struggling. The weight is significant. It is noticeable that the car was overloaded, and its suspension did not like it. Coming down 35, it would wobble. If I hit so much as a bump on the road, the car would be like, felt like it was on ice. It's pretty extreme, but good drive. Got into Jeremy's at about 1:30 in the morning. and he was feeling a bit under the weather. So pretty much went straight to bed. He had everything ready for me, so he just let me in and is like, dude, I'm going to bed. And I'm like, hey, it's 1:30 in the morning. I've had so much going on. Perfectly happy to just crash. So I just went in their dining room. They have a downstairs. It's supposed to be a dining room. They no one who has a dining room anymore, right? It's not a thing. They converted it to a downstairs nursery. So I just cleared some toys out of the way and put down some blankets and just slept on the floor there, perfectly comfortable. Everyone thinks sleeping on the floor is the craziest thing. No one can believe that I'm not like putting up with sleeping on the floor. As long as it's carpeted, like seriously, I don't mind at all. It was completely comfortable. I slept just fine, no problems whatsoever. So that's what I did, slept there. So the plan tomorrow, on Saturday, is that I will go first thing in the morning to the storage unit, unload the vehicle, do all the shift around. I have to run to Francesca's, drop off stuff for her, pick up some things that are missing, and then our hope is that I can get back up to Dallas, reload the van, get back to Spring, unload the van again, get back to Dallas, reload the van for the third time, but this time with our load to go to New York, and hopefully be out of the house and done. We will see. That is a lot of moving pieces to do in a very short amount of time, but there's just so much to do. In total, I have about 50 hours of driving that I have to do between Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and possibly Monday. Friday, no, definitely and Monday, possibly and Tuesday, but basically non-stop driving for the next 4 days. And then we get a little bit of time off, and then the flight out of Miami is booked on the 17th. That means that that's another about 27 hours of driving. The rule of thumb from back home to Orlando is always 24. I don't think it's really 24, it's probably like 22, but it's like, it's pretty high. But Miami is way past Orlando, so I guess it's longer. I haven't looked it up. It's gonna be a big drive though. So all together, it's about 75 hours of driving in the next 2 weeks, not including the time that I have to run between my dad's place and Dominica's parents' place. And they are only staying in New York for another week, so we have to get out and see them relatively soon before they leave, and then get back to dad's. So it is going to be a very tight visit in New York. We're hoping to get about 2 weeks, but we can't get up there until at least the 3rd, and we'll be pushing it to make it for the 3rd. And then by the 17th, we have to already be in Miami and have already sold the car. So I think we're getting at best like 10 to 12 days in New York. We'll just see. I'm not even at a point where I can mentally figure out the dates anymore. There's so much going on. But yeah, so that was our Friday. Very crazy, very long, but at least we made the judgment call that we had to put things in motion. If I stay and wait until tomorrow to do the storage run, something will come up and I won't be able to leave when I need to, and we'll miss it and we'll lose another day, and we can't let that happen. So it just keeps being a no, we're gonna make this work, we're gonna make this work, we're gonna make this work. And that's what needs to happen. So at this point, we are in motion. There's pretty much no stopping us now. We don't have enough furniture to last. We can't eat anything at the house. There's a microwave. We've already cleaned the oven, so it's not going to be used again. There's basically nothing in the fridge. Old leftovers, we're still cleaning some of that stuff out. But we're basically down to cleaning. My office does still need to be packed up, but I've been cleaning it out, and the last big item is just my desk, and that is, I'm sad about that. It is a beautiful desk. It's a standing desk. It's nothing, nostalgic or anything, but it's perfectly good. It's just too big. We have no way to store it, and nobody wants it, which blows my mind. No idea why no one wants a perfectly good desk. Everyone wants silly things that are not useful for actually getting work done. This is a very, very good working desk, and it converts from standing to sitting. It takes a little bit of work. It's not electric, so it's not super expensive, but it's a really nice, perfect conditioned desk, and it has a bottom shelf, and it's got double tiers on top. Like, it is so perfect for a lot of things. Of course, nobody wants that. The thing that's actually practical for a real student or a real person working, that's what doesn't get interest. All the casual stuff that's just like, it doesn't matter, those things everybody wants. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I just have nowhere to store it. No idea what anyone's going to do with it. So that is going to go out on the curb. I'm going to have to advertise that, that it's going out on Nextdoor. But that's it. Really, I could pack up. I bet I could pack my office in 30 minutes. And some of it's packed, and some of it's just trash. I need to like shred some things. A lot of it's just like loose, like memory sticks that need to be, you know, put into a container or whatever so that they're ready to go. And some of it is deciding last minute which things go in the car and which things are going into storage. But really, I think the entire office would fit in one bin, unless I'm missing something. So it's. If I had to, I could just take a bin, shove everything into it, and walk out the door. I don't want to do that. I want to be really conscientious of what I'm taking and what I'm leaving behind. The biggest things for me to gather and be ready from there is the camera gear. I've got my collection of GoPro gear, which I want to have organized and thoughtful. I have my Nikon D90. Now that has a go bag for it, so everything for it is together. And I don't have a lot of stuff for it, so that's not a big deal. But it all fits in one. It's a low pro bag, which is quite nice. And then I've got the Lumix, which doesn't really have a bag. I'm thinking about getting a bag for the Lumix, but it doesn't use accoutrements, like, because it's a fixed lens, right? It's not a prime, it's a zoom, but it's a fixed lens, not an interchangeable lens. And it does have this like sleeve that I have for a neoprene sleeve, which is nice. So I don't need to put it in anything particularly, but the sleeve only protects it so much. It would be nice if I had a small case. I don't know, I'm torn. And the GoPro has its own case, so that should be all set for the most part. I just have to keep all of its parts together, make sure I have all the things that it needs, that I'm organized, that kind of stuff. So that's the big stuff. That is what we need to do yet, and then cleaning out the house. Obviously, we have cleaners coming after we leave. Oh, that was the other thing. We were supposed to have the windows cleaned today, but the window cleaners never showed up, which is apparently a thing quite often with this type of work, that people just get busy and just randomly choose who not to service. Anyway, so that's a thing, and yeah, that's where we are for Friday, the final day of April 2021. We are completely in motion. The adventure of taking over the Simple Beach Lodge in Las Piñatas, Nicaragua is completely underway. By the time I post this, we will have taken over, and I will have actually already been to Houston and back, and it's all really happening. So if you're watching this and you're in New York, we're probably on our way there. Possibly already there. And so I will see everybody tomorrow from the road.